For this segment, I wanted to ask the question, which are going to be the most improved teams from 2025 into 2026? So it's not necessarily who won the offseason by getting like the most insane roster, because I think MIBR and Vitality have kind of got that locked up. Probably, but who's gonna? I mean, maybe I've kind of spoiled it there with Vitality because they were shite last year. But who do you think is actually going to be the most improved in terms of performance from one year to the next, based on the roster moves that they've made?
Well, I hate to bring this up, and I was hoping you wouldn't mention them. To be honest, I'm telling you right now, you brought up two teams there, Vitality and MIBR, and I think that MIBR will get there eventually. I think Vitality could easily win kickoff and stage one. I think
they did win kickoff last year.
Well, yeah, but then actually like be good for the whole year. I think the way the Vitality built their roster last year made no sense. It didn't make sense. And not just the roster. To bring in a coach who had never coached at tier 1 to go and coach a team that was being called a super team does not make sense. It does not make sense. Especially when you're trying to, mix a bunch of different cultures. And also the coach was from North America, which none of the players were as well. So that's a bit of a different culture as well. So it didn't make any sense. This I almost said BBL, but it is part BBL.
Yeah.
This Vitality roster is going to cook. It is going to cook. I am telling you right now, I'm predicting them to win kickoff 100%. I am predicting them to be the best EMEA team at the first Masters, and I'm going to go out and say it. Without Chronicle, I'm going to predict Vitality to be the best team of EMEA this year. Not necessarily the best team in the world, but of EMEA. I actually think, we were talking about Americas there, and, you're like bringing up hope for all these different teams in Americas. I think EMEA is looking a little bit weak. I think EMEA is looking a little bit open. I think Fnatic got worse. Even Fnatic fans would say that with the loss of Chronicle.
Sure.
I think that obviously BBL, who were a competitive team last year, have split up. Team Liquid lost Kiko. Team Heretics, have lost Mini Boo, and we'll see how they do with that. But, Comeback so far hasn't been the player that, was promised when he was playing in Tier 2. I think EMEA is wide open for Vitality to really just dominate it. And I don't think there's that much standing in their way from doing it. So, and obviously, like if we talk about last year, Vitality obviously were for most of it, so they have a lot of room to improve. That's my case for Vitality. They're gonna cook. I don't even need to talk about Chronicle, because I actually think that the coaching staff plus Yampy will actually be the biggest improvement to them.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, that is the structural elements that they've added are enormous improvements compared to last year. You're convincing me.